Hello and welcome to this special broadcast on Business Today TV. I'm your host Ayush Alavadi and today we're going to be talking about the future with 5G at the India Mobile Congress 2022 here at the Pragati Maidan in New Delhi. It's a historic event and a historic venue. That's because this happens to be the very venue where India's 5G revolution was officially launched. But what's that revolution shaping up to be like? Is it inclusive? Will these plans be affordable? How does it change your customer experience? Well, here's a Business Today TV report.
The beginning of the 5G revolution. Prime Minister Narendra Modi turning a new page in the telecom history of India, promising a blazing fast internet, artificial intelligence, augmented reality, a highly interconnected lifestyle, among other tech novelties. The latest phase of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Digital India dream launched in 2015, made possible by Make in India.
डिवाइस की कीमत तभी कम हो सकती है जब हम आत्मनिर्भर हो। और आपको याद होगा बहुत लोगों ने आत्मनिर्भर की मेरी बात की मजाक उड़ाई थी। 2014 तक हम करीब 100% मोबाइल फोन आयात करते थे, विदेशों से इंपोर्ट करते थे। और इसलिए हमने तय किया कि हम इस क्षेत्र में आत्मनिर्भर बनेंगे।
At the Indian Mobile Congress in Delhi, the Trimurti of telecom sector, Mukesh Ambani, Kumar Mangalam Birla and Sunil Bharti Mittal promised a big leap into future. The Ambani Sayan Akash sought the blessings of the Prime Minister, acknowledging his vision.
जियो का पूरा प्लान होएगा कि दिसंबर तक पूरा इंडिया कवर हो जाएगा। भाग इंडिया में अपन देखेंगे कि 5G के अनुसार बहुत सारे नए एप्लीकेशंस आएंगे और जैसे प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी जी ने बोला था कि नई क्रांति चालू हो जाएगी इंडिया में।
The Prime Minister got a first-hand experience what the 5G has in store for India. Jio, Airtel and Vodafone Idea will initially roll out 5G in select cities, taking it to every corner of India by next year. The tech czars, immensely thankful to Prime Minister Modi, outlined their vision for the next telecom leap India is poised to make.
The steps taken to fast-track India's march into the 5G era provide a compelling proof of our Prime Minister's determination. 5G is like a digital Kamdhenu, the heavenly cow that grants whatever we desire.
हम सब बहुत भाग्यशाली हैं कि आप जैसे नेता देश को आगे बढ़ा रहे हैं। एयरटेल के सब लोग पूरे जोर से, पूरी अपना हिम्मत से 5G को देश में फैलाएंगे।
As the Honorable Prime Minister launches India's 5G networks here today, the telecom industry will further ignite the digital dreams of 1.3 billion Indians and many thousands of enterprises.
A proud Prime Minister lauded India for achieving what was once felt unachievable.
भविष्य की वायरलेस टेक्नोलॉजी को डिजाइन करने में, उससे जुड़ी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में भारत की बड़ी भूमिका होगी।
Modi government's 5G auction earlier had buried the ghost of 2G scam and garnered a windfall in government revenue. In weeks and months to come, no aspect of life will remain untouched by 5G. Are you ready for the 5G revolution? Bureau Report, Business Today Television.
India's 5G revolution is officially here. It was flagged off at the India Mobile Congress. But will this revolution be an inclusive one? The use cases are endless, but will it be affordable and accessible to all of India? What's the pricing going to be like on your 5G plans? Business Today TV caught up exclusively with the Telecom Minister. Here's what he had to say.
Well, we're in conversation with the man of the moment, I must say. We're in conversation with Union Minister, who's of course holding many portfolios. But the most important one that stands today, I must say, sir. Welcome, Mr. Ashwini Vaishnaw, on this conversation on Business Today. So my first question to you is, how does it feel finally with the rollout of 5G and such a mega launch and such a wonderful celebration that we've seen since morning?
I thank Honorable Prime Minister for continuously guiding us through this very complex journey of having the 5G spectrum, having the right combination of the bands to be used for 5G, and having a very transparent auction process. And glad that Honorable Prime Minister has today launched the 5G rollout of 5G services throughout the country. It's going to make a very big impact on our Digital India initiative. It's also going to make a very significant change, significant contribution to education sector, health sector, agriculture, logistics. Some of these sectors will have real good impact.
Sir, while I was going through the expo, I saw just wonderful examples. One had a mobile hospital van, while others, they showed me some kind of 5G innovation that could help the agriculture sector. What is the phase 1 and phase 2 plan that you have set up?
I think the entire industry is very excited about this rollout. So even though we are thinking that in the phase 1, which is about 5 to 6 months from now, we should be able to cover 200 cities and towns. But I think the industry is probably going to cover much more than that. And our target is that within the next 2 years, we should be able to complete practically the entire country.
So one last question. How convenient and helpful is it going to be for the consumers? Especially there's a lot of conversation that's going around the tariff plans. Have the players spoken to you about it?
So Indian telecom sector is already among the most affordable in the world. And I think that trend is likely to continue.
So thank you for speaking with us.
Well, it seems like the potential for 5G is endless in a country like India. But Business Today TV caught up exclusively with Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal. Here's what he had to say about the launch of 5G in India.
We're joined by Union Minister Piyush Goyal ji. Sir, you hold a lot of portfolios, but a big day today. Yesterday was the launch of 5G. How do you feel about it, sir? You've always bet big on development of India, and now we're on the global scale.
Well, I think it was a day of pride for 130 crore Indians yesterday. And as the Honorable Prime Minister said, it was a defining moment not only for India but for the world. That a large economy like India, with all this talent, is now emerging from the shadows, is going to go across the world, present indigenously designed, developed and manufactured goods, and show the world the scale and speed with which we will take 5G across the length and breadth of India. Very many developed countries are still struggling with their 4G networks. India, of course, has taken 4G across the country. We are now aspiring to be a world leader in 5G. And I must say, Prime Minister Modi has been truly inspirational in guiding this whole process, in giving it wings, and if I may say, giving it the speed of a cheetah in terms of rollout is something which makes us all proud.
So one last question. Bigger and better trade for India. Do you agree to that?
Undoubtedly. This is all why we are looking for market access across the world, particularly in the developed world where they are looking at huge investments in technology related areas. And I think each and every one of our exhibitors here has something to offer the world. And as each one of them will start reaching out to the world, getting market access, getting zero duty access in the developed world, I am sure Indian products will be better than anywhere else, what anybody can produce in other countries. I am confident that these are the technologies of the future where India will take a leadership role, a pole position, and I'm sure all these young boys and girls, that the amount of immense talent that I've seen today, of course, makes you proud of your country, of your brothers and sisters and your children, but it also empowers you to be bold in your thinking, have big ambitions, and I think we do that on the strength of all these young boys and girls. I must compliment the youth of India because they are the one who give us energy and give us enthusiasm to work together with them.
Well, there's a bunch of solutions on display here at the India Mobile Congress. Tech enthusiasts, telecom enthusiasts would certainly have a jolly day here. But if you come to some booths over here, you'll notice there are Make in India solutions by Indian brands. Like this, Made in India for the world's first open source Wi-Fi 7 router at the HFCL booth. In fact, my team caught up with the MD, Mr. Nata at HFCL. Here's what he had to say.
Sir, how has the journey been from 2G networks to 5G networks? Today, Mukesh Ambani himself came up to the stall and launched your products. Could you give us a brief insight as to what are the products and how is HFC leading the 5G revolution?
Look, journey of country from 2G to 5G. 2G lasted for a long time. But then 3G could not do much because 3G was not a technology which was good for anybody. 4G came. Jio played a pivotal role in that. Whatever Honorable Prime Minister said today in terms of pricing, coverage, reaching to villages, all I think is thanks to Jio that they took that role to spread 4G all over the country. Now 5G has come. It's going to revolutionize how you see telecom. There will be a lot more use cases like you saw holographic images. Applications would be in healthcare, applications would be in education, agriculture, industry 4.0. So a lot of new use cases would be developed and there would be a lot of positive impact on economy out of this. As far as HFCL is concerned, we were honored that Sri Mukesh Ambani ji himself came to our stall and he launched two of our products. One is 5G 88R radio, which is part of the radio, is a part of the base station. We are the first Indian company to launch that. Then he also launched a very important product, Wi-Fi 7 based access point, which is giving a throughput of 10 gigabits per second, which is highest in the world. Nobody has given a throughput of 10 gigabit per second on any Wi-Fi. And this would be very useful in crowded areas like shopping malls, railway stations, airports, stadiums, where large number of people can expect very high throughput of internet. And working on Wi-Fi would be a pleasure with this kind of equipment.
Look, it's always good to hear about the potential of 5G and how these things are like in theory. But at the India Mobile Congress, there's so many booths and exhibitions, you can actually get a good idea of what these 5G use cases are like in practice. Can they change the smart healthcare space? Can they change drones and surveillance? All of these demos were on display at the Airtel booth. Well, here's what they had to say. Well, we've been waltzing around the India Mobile Congress here in New Delhi, and I've come across some very interesting things at the Airtel booth. And I have with me a fellow tech geek, Kaustubh Chandra from Airtel. Kaustubh, nice to have you on the show.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
Kaustubh, look, there's a lot of interesting things happening in terms of the use cases of 5G. But now this is where it really gets real, because if in a country like India we can come up with 5G ambulances, it can literally save lives.
Absolutely, Ayush. Before I really talk about this, I just want to, take a step back and tell you, as Airtel, what we've been doing, right? So as Airtel, we have been working on different use cases, different problem-solving, scenarios, which we thought that, once we have 5G live, how can we really solve real-world problems? And this is one such example wherein what we did is we actually collaborated with Apollo Hospital and Cisco. And we said that, how can we really help do something different in the healthcare space?
Right.
And one of the key challenge or key problem which we've seen from our research and, from holistic research is that when the patient, for example, for all the severe injuries and all, right, the moment it takes, given the whole traffic scenario in India today, it takes 16 minutes, approximately 40 to 60 minutes for that ambulance to really reach the hospital. And that is called the golden hour, right? The golden hour is where we have to, treat the patient or provide the, necessary, treatment at the beginning itself, so that by the time patient reaches the hospital, you have at least all the, challenges are being taken care of while on the move, right? So that's how this entire use cases came to life. right? We have tested this, with Apollo, like I mentioned, in couple of cities, and it has been, it has worked really well for us. So what happens is, for example, if there's an injury for someone, the moment the patient is here on this stretcher here in the ambulance, he gets connected. Immediately he gets, transmitted to a set of doctors who are sitting in Apollo Hospital somewhere. And that very moment, the doctors will start treating the patient. All the, as you can see, all the different machineries here, they are, to make sure that all the, required, vital statistics of the patients are also transmitting to the doctors there. There is a camera which from where the doctor, the remote doctor can see the patient and then, instruct the paramedic to actually perform the, required, things.
Interesting.
And this is again 10% of the deaths really happens during the transit.
Right.
And if this goes mass, so you can imagine, how many lives are you going to save?
Absolutely. But Casey, there's all sorts of use cases, like I was saying, on the enterprise side. But what seems interesting about it is the visual demonstration of what you can do. When you're talking about drones, everyone seems to be really happy because they're really cool. Tech geeks seem to love it as well. But this drone seems to have a use case that, well, can be very effective.
No, absolutely. And let me just give you a quick brief of this. So this use case, again, like it said, it was all about, for Airtel, it was all about solving real life problems, right? One of the real life problems which is, which are happening, and especially in the industrial side, is that, with the way e-commerce has grown in India, right? Today, it's all about that, right? Hardly people, go out and shop. Everything is happening in e-commerce, right? Which also means that you're talking about large warehouses, right? Really large warehouses. Now, the problem which has happened there is, there are three key problems. One is the whole inventory management and, making sure the safety of the inventory. Second is really the, the whole surveillance and security, right? Safety from a point of view, the people who are in the warehouse, because just imagine you're a large warehouse and you are asking, few guys to go and, keep checking in the inventory, and warehouses are like of this nature, massive, right? Yeah. And that's where we actually came up with this use case along with Ericsson. And what it does is, for example, it is difficult for a person to really climb up, climb down and all. This takes care of all of that.
Right.
It goes in, this will scan that, barcode which you're seeing. It immediately throws it to the system where it gets, the whole inventory gets recorded. The management is happening and they know exactly how much is there and, etc., etc. And then from there, this also makes sure the security and, it also acts as a surveillance, right? So for example, you can't have 20, 30 security, physical security to be there. And this is where you can actually manage with the drones to make sure that the place is secure. And the third part is the safety, right? You actually end up, avoiding a lot of accidents as well, because, you're not making the guys to go up and down, and, this really does that.
Casey, what's interesting is when everyone talks about the metaverse nowadays, 5G is the real enabler for the metaverse. Low latency networks, us being in location A, location B, and all meeting in the metaverse. But even on the enterprise side, it can really change things for a connected workforce.
Yeah.
Is this a pipe dream or can this be a reality?
Oh, this is already a reality, Ayush. For example, connected workforce, right? The way, again, I've been talking about the solving real life problems, right? This is as real as it can be, right?
Okay.
Why? Because when you're in a mining, industry, or you're in a industry which requires you to go to remote places within, right, where you cannot take big machineries, you cannot take 3-4 people, and this is really where this comes to life, right? You actually literally saving, instead of trying to figure it out, you have just one person, right? So let's say if there's a space of just one person, especially in a mining use case, right? You have, this device which you see here, right? A person need to just wear it, go in, it gets connected to a remote team which is sitting wherever in the world, and they can literally live telecast it, and the person sitting remotely can guide this person, right, who's on the, in that place to really fix the problem.
Interesting.
Right? And this is real life. And this is happening today.
When we're talking about the future with 5G, you've already heard from some of the top voices in the tech world, the telecom world, from the government as well. But what's 5G really like in practice? What are the real world use cases of 5G here in India? How will it shape our digital transformation journey? That's what we're going to be bringing you on the other side of this commercial break. Stay tuned. Welcome back to this special Business Today TV broadcast on the future of 5G. I'm here at the India Mobile Congress, and boy oh boy, this is where we get you all the real world use cases of 5G. How is it going to change your life? This is the part of the show that you shouldn't miss at all. Let's start off with a really cool solution related to autonomous cars. I'm sitting here in New Delhi, but can I drive a car in Sweden? Well, let's find out. Well, this stall seems to be one of the most popular stalls at India Mobile Congress. How do you use 5G to control a car or drive a car 5,500 kilometers away in Sweden from here in New Delhi? This is the same stall that the Prime Minister inaugurated on day one of the India Mobile Congress. This is how you end up using this device to control something thousands of kilometers away. Something as light as 75 grams and that looks like something from the sets of Terminator can actually be your gateway into the metaverse, into virtual reality. Imagine what GeoGlass can do using 5G networks in the gaming space, in social media, and the entertainment industry, shopping. All those experiences can change with GeoGlass. Here's how it works.
Today we have an education system, or the future of education or classrooms, wherein with GeoGlass and Geo 5G, we are able to give immersive education content to every student and every school in India, right? So 5G acts as a conduit to deliver this new immersive forms of content to the classrooms, and GeoGlass helps students to visualize these concepts in 3D, right? So that is what this whole solution is, what we are trying to show here. And using this tablet, teachers can basically control the content that the students are looking at, right? She can also give personal attention to students because she can track every student.
Most Indian metros are so overcrowded and congested that we often get stuck in traffic jams. What if it's an ambulance that needs to make its way to the hospital with a patient? The golden hour, the first 60 minutes after an accident or a trauma or an injury, can prove to be life-saving if the patient is attended to. What if we had to fit an ambulance with 5G and all sorts of connected technology to ensure that the patient can be saved in that golden hour, and doctors can remotely perhaps monitor that patient as well? Well, here's a demonstration that we saw at the IMC. Have a look for yourself.
We are showcasing here is how 5G enables a paramedic who's there at the ambulance, and back to the command center, the doctor can share all the information. We have vital stats which are being relayed directly in the real time, and also there is a paramedic who can actually get who can be wearing any mixed reality glass, and all whatever the paramedic sees here can be relayed back at the command center. So this is the command center area that you can see, where the paramedic here is going to be in the ambulance. So if the paramedic misses something, there are sometimes cardiac patients or any trauma patients who need immediate assistance from the hospital. That's where, they can get that. So if the paramedic is wearing a HoloLens, if any marking or any annotation that is being done from the command center can be relayed directly back to the ambulance. And that annotation is where that has to be done with ultra low latency. So that is where 5G enables really. Just like you clear, the traffic on the road for an ambulance. Similarly, we also believe that the data traffic needs to be cleared for an ambulance. So an ambulance could have a dedicated network slice where they could have a guaranteed bit rate, they could have guaranteed latency, and that's how you can enable the ambulance to be connected and sharing information between ambulance and the hospital command center.
Smart ambulances, autonomous cars, the metaverse. so much to do with 5G, and it's safe to say that India's 5G revolution has officially begun here at the India Mobile Congress. We hope you've enjoyed the show. We certainly at Business Today TV have enjoyed putting this show together for you, a special broadcast on India Today and Business Today. If you have liked the show and you want to catch more content from the India Mobile Congress and from Tech Today, you must log on to the Business Today social media handles. I'm your host Ayush Alavadi saying until next time, adios.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.